What is up everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am doing my first Q&A here on YouTube, and a few days ago over on Instagram I asked you to basically ask me anything, so I haven't checked the question just yet, so let's dive in and find out what we'd like to know. Welcome back to a new episode of Joe TV, the place for new coaches, content creators, and entrepreneurs. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Joseph. I am a marketing and branding coach, and I'm here to help you to up-level your brand and business online. Each and every week, you're gonna find 2 videos on my channel, one every Wednesday, where I dive into social media strategy and digital marketing, and one every Sunday, where we kind of relax, get to know each other a little bit better, and I cover topics such as books, mindset, and so much more. So if you are excited, spread some love with a little thumbs up and hit the button subscribe. Don't forget the doorbell so you don't miss my next video. And with that out of the way, let's dive into today's topic. Here we are. So this is my first session of Q&A over on YouTube. I am really excited. So a few days ago over on Instagram stories, I asked you to basically ask me anything. So this is the opportunity for you to get to know me a little bit better. And as I don't really speak a lot about what's going on behind the scenes, this is a great opportunity to let you guys know a little bit more about me, especially here on YouTube, which I'm super new. By the way, if you don't follow me over on Instagram just yet, make sure you do so right here. It's quite fun. We do lots of live with lots of people. There is marketing content. There is me singing with my nephew on karaoke. You can't miss it. And if you want to see the worst side of me, go over on TikTok. This is where I do my horrific dancing, so you can't miss that either. Okay, so let's have a look at the question. I received quite a few, so I selected the one that I thought were better for this Q&A and the one that were a little bit more intense, if you will. Let's dive in with the first question. So the first question is from Christy, and she is asking, how did you approach digital marketing? So I approached digital marketing mainly from my previous job, because I always been passionate about marketing and sales, and I always worked in sales and marketing. However, in my previous job is where I really dove into the digital marketing side of the business, and alongside with my passion for social media, this is kind of where everything started. So this is where everything began. And obviously the training that I had and the development, self-development, I really did a lot of courses and a lot of training for myself to really be able to deliver as much value as I possibly can. And this is something that is still continuing today. So the great thing with social media is that you never stop learning. It's just a continuous, update, and it's just changing all the time. So I think this is the thing that I like the most, the fact that it's never the same, and you are out of the loop for a week and it's completely different. So I think this is the most exciting part of it. Question number 2 is from Grace. Were you scared of people when you started working online? I wasn't scared of people. Well, I think obviously when you start working and showing up and really expose yourself, I think you go through the fear of getting judged, and you kind of feel like, oh, am I supposed to post this? What people are going to say? And this is something that we all go through, right? This is kind of like part of the game. I think I come from a place where I have a really thick skin, and it really does take a long time for me to kind of get offended by something or get hurt by something. And I did have some haters online, and I have some trolls, and I always kind of detach myself from it, and I kind of feel like it's part of the game. And as at work, you might have some colleagues that you don't like and some people that you don't really get along with. This is where I think social media is, right? So I never been scared of it. I always consider it, and I always include it as part of the game. I thought it was there, and it's something that if it happens, you have to deal with it. And it's something that you kind of have to come from a place of confidence. I think you need to be really confident with this job. I think you need to be prepared. I think this is what I was. Ash is asking, how do I gain 10,000 followers on Instagram quickly? Any tips? Now, there isn't any quick way to get 10,000 followers on Instagram, but there is a quick way to understand why do you need these followers from. So let me explain myself better. So the first question you want to ask yourself is, why do I need 10,000 followers? Is it because vanity metrics, I need to feel better? Do you feel better if you have a certain amount of people that follow you line, whether they are real or not? It's just the number that is interesting you, and that's the first question. If the answer is yes, then buy them. Just get a bot or something if it's just the number that is interesting you. And the reason why I say that is because loads of people feel they have a lack of self-esteem, and having a certain presence on social media is what makes them feel better. And although this is not what I do and this is not what I stand for, people have the freedom to choose, right? And whatever makes you feel happy, just go with it. However, if you are going to question number 2, which is, why do I need these followers for? Is it because I want to work as an influencer, as a content creator, or I want to build a business behind it? That's where the game changes. Because if you are an influencer and you buy followers, you're technically not ethical, and it's not right, because you are selling your service, your audience, which is not real. If you're someone that has a business and you want to grow your brand on social media, or you want to build a brand on social media, this is where it's key to really focus on the quality over the quantity. Because you want people that are going to buy from you because they know who you are, they know what you're about, they know what you stand for, and they are generally interested on your content and on your product. And you know, it doesn't take a snap of fingers to get 10,000 followers. It takes hard work, especially if you want to build something purposeful. So I think the mindset that needs to change here is not about the numbers, but it's about the quality. The next question is from Sam. I follow you everywhere: podcasts, YouTube, and Instagram, and I love your energy. Any tips for small influencers? Thank you, Sam, for the great question. Especially right now, I feel like everybody wants to be an influencer. And you know, I feel like there is so much more that people need to know about influencer marketing, and it's not just all about looking pretty and look nice and just getting paid to do this and get a free holiday every now and then. There is so much more work that people don't see, and that's our responsibility behind the scene to kind of show it. And I personally don't like the word influencer because I think it's like one of those words that devalue your job. Influencer marketing is not seen nicely from all the people, which is why I think it's your responsibility as a professional to really be able to show that you are really someone that knows your stuff. Which is why one of the first tips I will give you is do as much research as possible on your industry. You want to be an influencer, you want to do it seriously, you need to know the inside out of the industry. You need to know how to do a brand deal, you need to know how to edit picture, you need to know how to edit video, you need to know how to edit audio if you have a podcast, you need to understand the aesthetic side of Instagram, you need to understand how to build your brand together, because as soon as you post one picture on social media and you have your name on it, that's your personal brand. And this is what a brand that is a company will look for you to pay you. They need to understand if the value that you share is the value that they share. And if these two can be combined, and if that's a yes, this is how you get paid. This is how you start a brand deal collaboration. This is how you start a partnership. But it's not an overnight success. There is tons of people that they do an overnight success as an influencer, but they don't have any business around that. Being an influencer without a business is literally being a very popular person on Instagram. There isn't really any value behind it, in my opinion. I think you can use influencer marketing to promote other people's brands as well as promoting your own, and that's a great strategy and it works amazingly well. And especially if you're someone that wants to launch a business but want to use your influence to build your clientele, that's a great way to do it, because you will have your brand and your product as well as promoting somebody else's, and people will trust you because you already have a business behind it. This is where you get seen more professional in what you do. The next question is from Anthony asking, I am thinking of moving country and I know you're from Italy. How was your move and what would you say are the tips for changing country? This is a great question, and I advise to anybody to live and experience a different country at least once in a lifetime. It can be a great experience and it can be a horrible experience, up to how you live the experience yourself. If you're someone that holds himself back with like limiting beliefs, and and thinking that because it's not the same country where you come from, it's not good enough, that is not going to become a good experience. And this is something that, personally speaking, loads of people from my country do. I'm Italian, and they think that if it's not like Italy, it's not great, which I personally disagree, but everybody is entitled of their opinion. And I came here with such an open mind and like an open book. I was here to learn, and I was here to really start all over again, a new experience, and nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I think that was what really worked out for me. But yeah, so if you are thinking of moving, follow your gut and just do it. This is great. Phoebe says, I love your wedding pictures. Thank you, Phoebe. And you and your partner look so cute. How does it leave your job and being so open on social media? So me and my partner are very different, and I think the beginning was kind of an adjustment for him to understand what really I do. And the thing is, I don't really share much about my private life on social media, and I think this is key. I think when you are in a relationship, you need to be respectful of the other person's privacy. And not everybody wants to be in front of a camera. And I think there needs to be a certain balance between online and offline, and I ensure that I do that as much as I can. But yeah, he likes what I do. He's really supportive. He understands the vision behind it, which I think is the most important thing. And yeah, and he just really, think it's good for me and I'm made for it, so he likes it, so that's good. Andrew is saying, I spent so much time on social media since the lockdown, and you kept me entertained. Any advice for starting any online business? This is such a popular question. Everybody wants to be online right now due to the lockdown, and everybody wants to make money online, which is great. And I think this is the time for you to research as much as you can and really understand what are your skills. What can you bring to the table? What's your zone of genius? I think this is what you want to ask yourself. If you're someone really good on social media, you can be a social media manager or a social media executive, for instance. Or if you're someone good at editing, you're good at editing photo, or you're good at editing video, you can start charging your expertise on Fiverr, for example, which is a website where you can start delivering your services to clients and kind of build your portfolio and kind of create a side hustle, if you will. And there are so many ways you can do that. You can create an online program where you kind of take your business, if you have a business, online, and you kind of teach something. I did a very interesting video about COVID-19 and how to create new revenue stream into your business during the coronavirus. Just check it out. It's this one here. I think this will really help you. Next question is from Mary. What was the biggest lesson you learned online ever since you started to be a content creator? Oh, that's a good one. The biggest lesson, well, I learned so many. I learned from anyone that comes on board to my podcast. I have so many guests. By the way, if you don't know, I have a podcast named A Cup of Joe, which you can find on iTunes and Spotify. Just saying, if you haven't checked it out, just go in the info box and just listen to it, because we have so many guests. And all my guests teach me something. I feel like every time I interview somebody or I have a call with someone, I learn something, and it's the most amazing thing that in my niche, in my industry, I learn something different every day. And I think what I learn is the fact that there's no barrier on social media. Like, I feel you can contact anybody. And you can just, if you're someone that is serious about what you do and you can demonstrate that you have a voice and you know how to use it, people will reply to you. I find myself messaging people with millions of followers, with like social proof, verified, multi-million-dollar companies. Just say, hey, how are you? I think what you do is great and you are a service, and I would love to share that with my audience. Would you like to be a service of my audience? Would you like to be on my podcast? And they say yes. I think this is a great part of social media. It kind of goes beyond the barriers of, feeling like you're not good enough, or, oh, this person is not going to answer to me anymore, or, oh, this person is never going to know who I am. This kind of thing get overcome when you're on Instagram, when you're on social media, because everybody's there and everybody hangs out on Instagram. And if you're good at what you do and you can show it, people will get it and they will notice you, because this is something that didn't happen 10 years ago. And this is the most exciting part, I think. Sarah says, 3 things you love and hate about your job. Right, that's a very interesting one. So 3 things I love and hate about my job. So I definitely love the freedom, the fact that I can work from anywhere, the fact that I can be having my own schedule, my own time, and do my own things when I need to. I think that's one of the main points. I love the relationship building, the fact that you can connect and know and you get to know people and meet everyone and kind of, you know, start collaboration, partnership. I mean, I just recently started a new business project where I work with other entrepreneurs, and we basically help you to fall in love with your business again. If you've been in business for over a year and you are not really sure about what's next, we helping you with that, and we do a 12-week program. And the people that are working with me, we mainly met online. We met through my podcast, they've been my guest, and then we become really good friends outside from the online space, and we started to really build up connection. And as soon as COVID-19 started, we just thought there was a need for a service, and this is what we did. And this is something that wouldn't happen if it wasn't for social media. So I think this is the best part of it. And another thing that I love about social media is your creativity can really be expressed. And I am someone that is very creative and very bold with colors, and I love experimenting and trying different things from my hair and beyond. So I love that, and I love the fact that you can really show your true personality and really still do what you like without being too much into schemes. The next question is from Monica. Monica is asking, why did you guys marry in New York, and are you still moving to America? Right, so yes, I did get married in New York. If you don't know, I got married last year in New York City, and that was out of surprise. We did not plan that. It was kind of a last minute decision. We got married alone. It was just me and my partner. We went to have a nice ceremony. We had a nice meal. We had a day in New York City where we were hanging out. It was so cold, and I would have done it any other way. I think this is exactly how I visioned that, and I am not someone that is really into marriages. I don't like weddings. I don't really resonate with that. It's never been one of my list things to do, but it just happened. It just felt right, and I think this is what was the most important part. And yes, we are still moving to New York City. We are moving as soon as COVID-19 finish. We don't know exactly when this is going to be, but we are hoping super soon. And I think, well, I was supposed to move in March. The 17th of March was supposed to be my date that I was gonna leave the UK, but I didn't yet, obviously due to lockdown and all that jazz. So we are hoping to go perhaps in June or July, so finger crossed. Next question is from Katia. 3 things you love and hate about British culture. This is a great question. So 3 things I love, definitely fish and chips, which is the typical food here in the UK. I don't like it every day. It's quite heavy, but sometimes I like it. I love the melting pot culture that you can find, especially in London. You can have any food, anywhere, anytime, and you can meet so many incredible people from different parts of the world. So I love this kind of, you know, melting pot of cultures, and I love diversity personally. So I love when things are different from the way we are, and I can learn from it. And this is something that I really like. I like the eccentricity about the British culture, so everybody can dress the way they want, look the way they want, and everybody is really acceptable of it, which I like. This happens normally more in London than it probably happens outside, but you know, this is something that I personally really like, the fact that everybody can wear flip-flops in the street, or in the winter nobody would say anything. I like the formality as a culture. They're very formal. They try to be really respectful of everybody. They try to be very, you know, welcoming to everyone most of the time. So I like that, and I think this is one of the things that makes you feel more welcome, and definitely the accent as well. I really like the accent, even if I don't have it, but that's another point. Yeah, so this is the 4 things I like. 3 things I hate about England. Let me think. So definitely it's a drinking society. There is lots of drinking involved, and when I moved here, I did not realize it was such a big thing, and I am not someone that drink much. So for me, I actually started drinking alcohol when I moved to England, because before I didn't. And it was kind of like interesting to me to see that people really need to drink in line to feel better, to feel confident, to feel like they can have fun. There is so much awkwardness around as a society. They always have to apologize for everything. They always have to feel sorry for something. And this is something that I personally found really strange at the beginning. But you know, I kind of got with the culture now, and I don't really notice it anymore. But yeah, like for example, I am someone that will have a glass of wine or a drink during a meal or something, and if we go out for drinks later, that's fine. If not, that's not a problem. But here they need to drink a lot in line to feel like they had a great night out. So yeah, that's the thing that for me was really foreign when I moved here. My culture is a big drinking culture as well. I'm Italian, we drink a lot, but we always do it with a meal, so it's different the way we digest and the way we absorb that. So I think that was one of the things that I wasn't really used to it. And I still try to keep it like that even now. So I try to eat before I drink or while I drink, and with my Italian friends we still do that. But yeah, it's quite interesting. Another thing that I don't like is when the formality as a culture gets taken out of control, and you know, they are very formal, they are always very polite, they try to be really nice to everybody, and sometimes this kind of takes you to the point that they are not very direct, so you never really understand what they mean. And for me, that I am Italian and I'm very direct and I say things as they are, for me it's just really energy consuming. I find it really emotionally draining, try to really understand what the hell is going on with people all the time. And this is something I still struggle with a lot. I am still sometimes wondering if these people are honest, or you know, are they saying the truth? Are they saying it just because it's the thing to be said? And this is something I personally don't like. But it's part of the culture. Everyone is like that, so it's just the way they are as culture. They're not very direct, it's just the way they are. And I would say another point that is definitely not one of my favorite is probably the weather. The weather is just one of the cliche. It does not rain as much as people think in the UK. It's just, for me, it's not even the rain the problem, it's the fact that the weather is always the same all year long. Like it would be this kind of cloudy, not too cold, not too hot the whole year long, and in the wrong side of the warm weather. Like it will be 20 degrees and then people will moan if it gets to 27. So I am someone that loves seasons, so I feel really badly affected health-wise by the fact that there's no season. I suffer of seasonal affective disorder as well, for example, so this is something that happens with a lack of light, and it happens to me every year, and this is something I didn't used to have when I lived in Italy, and now I do that when I live in England. So these are the things really that I don't like. Alright guys, we got to the end of my Q&A. This was really exciting. I actually had so much fun. So let me know what you think on the comments. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't just yet. And if you like this video, spread some love with a little like, and I will see you same time, same place next week.